3D printing technology gives animals a second chance. Everyone loves a good animal story, and the 3D printing world has plenty of them. From animal prosthetics to implants to even robotic assistants for bees, 3D printing has helped animals just as much as it has helped people. So if you are watching, we will tell you 10 of the standout stories this year about how 3D printing has helped our animal friends live their best lives. What seemed like science fiction not so long ago is already widely used in everyday life. 3D printing has come to the aid of our furry friends. What exactly is 3D printing? In short, 3D printing is a technique for three-dimensional manufacturing products based on digital models. But how has this technology made life easier for many animals? We will tell you all about the most compelling cases in today's episode. Look at the impressive list of 3D printed medical products and imagine the huge potential of applying these technologies in veterinary medicine. What is a 3D printer? A 3D printer is a computer-controlled robotic system that creates three-dimensional objects through the layer-by-layer addition of material. In practice, the printer adds one material layer after another until a fully formed object is created. 3D printing is part of the innovative additive manufacturing process, which produces 3D solid objects from a digital file. It is a rapid and economical tool for engineers and designers to produce complex parts for machines, aircraft, and vehicles. Nowadays, 3D printers have become commercially available at affordable prices, making them available to small businesses and even to households. The first step is creating the model using various special CAD software, computer-aided design. Then, we can develop a structure, decide how it will look, and where we want to place the material in a two-dimensional slice, and then stack all the slices together to create a three-dimensional structure. Once the model is ready, we can feed it to the printer, which will start to make it layer by layer until we get it. Right now, 3D printing is one of the new technological advancements that is on its way to revolutionizing healthcare. It changes the way medicine is practiced by advancing personalized medical services and introducing new ways to create drugs and manufacture medical equipment and supplies in a fast and cost-effective way. Nowadays, the healthcare sector is one of the most money-consuming as medical equipment and supplies are costly. 3D printing offers a new cost-effective way to produce splints, casts, and medical models used for educative purposes and to plan surgical procedures. Splints. Vets from the Do Dang Dong Veterinary Hospital created a blueprint for producing different kinds of splints, tailored to the animal's weight and dimensions. Suppose you are interested in exploring this field in your clinic. In that case, the file of the splints is available for non-commercial use. Presurgical planning and educational models. 3D printing can be used for the presurgical planning of complex cases to increase the information available to surgeons. For example, working on the model before the actual procedure can help choose the appropriate material and equipment, such as plates, in advance and optimize precision and preparedness. The 3D data is acquired from MRI or CT scans in these cases. Then, the info is exported as a DICOM, digital imaging and communications in medicine file, which can be used in software compatible with the printer. For the final product, we can use a wide variety of materials such as glass, ceramics, plastic, or metals, depending on what will serve our purpose better. Customized casts. 3D printing can change the way humans experience a bone break. Some companies can model the patient's part and manufacture a tailor-made 3D printed splint. The American 3D Printing Active Armor Company is 3D mapping the injured limb to create a cast that perfectly fits the patient's anatomy. The produced model is waterproof, and their aim is to adapt to a busy and active lifestyle. However, it is only available for fractures in the hands. At the same time, it is stated that it does not apply bone-level strength to the extremity. The Spanish 3D Printing Exovite Company uses a 3D scanner to capture the patient's limb's image and generate a personalized splint that is then printed in a 3D printer. As mentioned above, to create a 3D printing splint, we need a 3D scanner, which is usually expensive. A student from the Netherlands designed the Q-ratio hand scanner, which can precisely digitize the hands and fingers by using laser pointers, cameras, and a Raspberry Pi computer. Wearable prosthetics. The replacement of body parts with artificial ones is not new. It started with external prosthetics. 3D printing allows the customization of the prosthetic component to the needs of the individual. 3D scanning shows where the artificial part will be attached to have a perfect fit. Moreover, through 3D scanning, we can produce a symmetrical and cost-efficient amount. Here are real-life stories of how 3D saved life of various animals. Each of these animals survived horrific injuries and was left without the means to eat, drink, or walk. Thankfully, dedicated caretakers and 3D printing technology have allowed them to start new lives with cutting-edge prosthetics. 1. Moshe, the elephant. This sweet Asian elephant named Moshe was only 7 months old when she accidentally stepped on a landmine and her leg was destroyed entirely. As a result, she could not walk and just lay in one place. That's when wildlife rehabilitators took her to the center and set her up with a prosthetic. Because animal prosthetics are a work in progress, they made her a new artificial leg. Unfortunately, landmines are common around the region due to decades of rebels fighting with the Myanmar government. Unfortunately, foraging animals often suffer as a result. 2. Fred the tortoise. Fred, the red-footed tortoise, actually a female, lost most of her shell in a forest fire. Not only did she lose her body, but she also survived 2 bouts of pneumonia and 45 days without food. Lucky for her, a team was willing to put in the time and effort to nurse her back to health and build her a new shell. The elaborate corn plastic-based plastic shell was printed using a 3D printer, and it took over 50 hours for each piece to print. Then, the team assembled the shell and painted it more realistic. As a result, Fred now enjoys a more leisurely life with a dedicated caretaker. 3. Rhino horns. A new 3D printing technology could rewrite the story of one of the world's most endangered creatures, the rhinoceros. A pharmaceutical company has been able to reproduce the rhino horn, which is prized on the black market for its medicinal and cosmetic value, and hoping to put rhino poachers out of business. Last year, 12-15 rhinos were poached, or 1 rhino every 8 hours. Wildlife experts think the entire range of rhino species could be extinct in 5 to 10 years. Rhino horns are precious in Asian countries and are a status symbol. The horns are used in various traditional remedies. The horns sell for $30,000 a pound, more expensive than cocaine and gold. Amazingly, the new technology recreates horns, like the real thing in the lab with genetic tests. They use the same keratin protein, inorganics, metals, minerals, and actual rhino DNA to achieve their results. Some wildlife experts are skeptical about the replicated horns. Thinking about it will only make it harder to catch the poachers who are selling illegally. On the other hand, the horns are so valuable that poachers in developing countries can feed their families for a year after selling just one. So, disturbing the fox horns in the end-user market might not stop the slaughter. Permbient founders are hoping that they will instead sell the manufactured horns to would-be poachers. This is how they can help them still make a profit while saving the rhinos and their precious snouts. 4. Lola, the sea turtle. Lola lost her flipper a decade ago when she became severely entangled in the fishing line. Knowing this, students at Worcester Polytechnic Institute assisted with developing a prosthetic flipper in hopes of helping her and other injured sea turtles in the future. Using 3D printing, the students created the first-ever hydrodynamic biomimetic flipper. Lola can now swim and feed normally, and she remains an ambassador for her species at the Key West Aquarium. Kemp's Ridley sea turtles are the rarest on the planet and critically endangered. Only about 1,000 nesting females remain. 5. Vittoria, the goose. Experts aren't exactly sure what happened to Vittoria. Still, they suspect that she was either attacked by dogs or had been severely beaten. When rescuers found her, she could not eat and lost weight rapidly. Brazilian 3D designer Cicero Moraes worked with surgeons and wildlife experts to create a temporary beak for Vittoria so she could eat. Then they got started on a permanent visor. After a battle with pneumonia and 3 surgeries, she finally ate again. She is now cared for by her original rescuer in the Sao Paulo countryside. 6. Derby, the dog. Arguably the most well-known application of a 3D printed prosthesis is for an animal. Derby was born with deformities in his front legs, which left him unable to walk, run, or even sit upright. Slated to be euthanized, he was rescued and fostered. With the 3D technologies available to Tara, she tried to create a custom prosthesis for Derby, starting with casts to mold the prosthetic design and later elbow cups modeled on 3D scans of Derby's deformed legs. The idea was to get Derby running again, but without wheels. The material had to be strong, durable, and flexible to closely mimic the behavior of his natural legs. The final 3D printed prosthetic had a curved design and incorporated treads to provide traction. It even had his name printed on each prosthetic leg. Today, Derby, nearly 2 years old, doesn't just walk. He runs miles and miles daily. That's all. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and like and share this video. Until next time, see you!